Supreme Court ruling today curbs the use of race in drawing voting districts. Let's get some perspective on what all this means. June Grasso is our legal analyst at Bloomberg here. June, talk to us about just the background of this case and then maybe what we may know about this ruling here.
So this is obviously a Louisiana case, and Louisiana has a third of its population is black. So it redrew, after a court battle, it redrew its maps to reflect that. And then it came before the Supreme Court, and the question before the Supreme Court basically is whether you can use race in determining these voting districts. Now, the Supreme Court has eliminated every other kind of challenge, basically. And what it did is, for example, you can't challenge gerrymandering for political reasons. So you could only at this point challenge it for racial reason. And now it appears that the court has curbed the use of race in drawing voting districts as well. This basically, I think it shatters the Voting Rights Act of the civil rights law that was so hard fought to get voting rights and to ensure voting rights for people of color. And so the Supreme Court already has taken away a section that required certain states to get pre-clearance before they redistrict, and that was a case called Shelby County versus Holder. And now in this case, it appears they're also getting rid of the possibility of challenging gerrymandering based on race. This could affect, I think people have said, as many as 12 different congressional districts throughout the country. So it's a 6-3 vote because the 3 liberals are in dissent. This court has really dismantled voting rights over and over again. So this is shocking in a way, but it's not a surprise after hearing the oral arguments.
So
What?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no. So what implications does this have beyond Louisiana? Because I'm sure plenty of states are watching this carefully.
Yeah, as I said, there are I think around 12 different districts that could be affected by this. And of course, they're mostly, I think they're all Democratic representatives in those districts right now. So if you take out the use of race and it's gerrymandered again, you're going to have less Democratic districts, most likely, less districts where people of color are in the majority. So I heard one election expert say that this is just sort of like Armageddon for voting rights if they decided to do what they did here. And it was written by Justice Alito, and I haven't gotten through it. It's written by Justice Alito, so you can imagine that it's very, very strict and very, very, he always votes against voting rights. So